Oh my god. Sound off in the comments. We'll just stop. Wow. Yeah, I've got pretzel M&Ms, some candy. That's crunchy. Oh, okay.
Now can you hear me?
Well,
Hello?
they've already established that this is the sexiest thing they've ever seen.
Now it's the
But maybe
sexiest
not
thing they've ever heard. Yeah, there we go. Same joke. All right. Oh, look at all these people in the comments. That's so cool. Okay. Yes, AJ. People can hear. Sweet. Awesome. Are we good volumes? Are they all right volumes?
Yeah, are we?
Too loud? Too quiet? Let us know. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
All right. So here we have AJ is dressed as a Jamaican.
No. I am Captain Jack Sparrow. I am not a Jamaican. I need to get that out of the way early. I am not dressed as a Jamaican person. I am dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow. However, there are some considerations to take in there. One, is Captain Jack Sparrow culturally appropriating Jamaicans? And then 1B, does that make it okay or does that make it not okay? And 2, I am willing to accept that it's not up to me whether or not this is cultural appropriation.
You're doing it anyway.
No, I'm maintaining I'm a pirate. If people in the comments are like, dude, you just look like a Jamaican.
Jamaican Captain Jack Sparrow.
Happily take this very sweaty hot wig off and just wear the little hat.
Yeah, I've got what am I dressed as now, AJ?
You're dressed as someone who voted no on the cannabis referendum here in New Zealand.
Very funny. Or someone who has the power to influence people's votes and chose not to, thus ensuring it would not pass. Yeah, I have a few costumes. I'll be cycling through a few different costumes for the duration of this event.
Cool.
In fact, I can join AJ's cultural appropriation. Now I'm a pirate.
Very cool, very cool. Hey, Hayden Orr in the comments says, "Damn, bruh, you got that drip," which is very cool. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Drip.
Welcome.
Need a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass content.
This content is wet, dude. Welcome. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween. Today is Halloween for us here in New Zealand. It is not for those of you in other countries, I don't believe. I've just noticed that I need to resize things so you can see my name properly there. Okay, that's good. Oh.
What? There's a Halloween guest.
Hi, AJ.
Hello, you are
And
live.
everyone watching.
Oh, and everyone watching.
Should probably know that up front. Cool. So, it's very important to let someone know that they are live as soon as possible. It's like when you answer a phone in a car. You should start with, "Hello, you're on speakerphone."
Yeah.
You agree?
What if they're not?
If you're not on speakerphone,
Yeah.
I don't think you have to. Why would you? Do you tell them you're not on speakerphone?
Jess is trying to steal one of my costumes.
Too bad.
You've got your own.
I don't.
All right. Anyway, we're live.
So,
Do you have the background on? Looking through, you can't see.
For those who don't know what's happening today, we don't necessarily either. We've got some idea of what we want to do. We're going to read out some creepypastas. We're going to get a little drunk. Richard, because I'm a pirate, I bet you think I'm drinking rum. I'm actually drinking Smirnoff Ice, which is colloquially...
Oh my god, that's like... I can't believe you're drinking that.
Referred to as lolly water here in New Zealand. But I also have some wine for later. And we've got candy. Show us your candy first, because it looks a lot more impressive.
All right, so I have to hold them in front. I'm at Camp Crystal Lake as well.
Yeah.
Spooky. Pretzel M&Ms. Musk flavored lifesavers. This is all backwards. Sorry.
What is it? Musk? No, it's all good on the screen.
You know, Musk, like, you get like smokers. I don't know if that's like a universal thing or if it's like a Kiwi thing, but
Musk makes me
like
think
pink.
something smells like urine.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah. Like if something's I'm thinking of musty.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, pods, Snickers flavored. Again, I don't know if these are available internationally, but they're quite nice.
Yep.
And then I've got Pascal Lolly Scramble.
Nice.
And so this has a few. This is what you get on Halloween. You like just get a bag of these, maybe 2 bags, depending on where you live, and you leave it by the door in case you get trick or treaters, and you inevitably never do. Because we don't really celebrate Halloween.
No, this is how we celebrate it, is with live streams. Hey, Upbeat in the comments says that Mars are better than Snickers flavoured pods. What do you think about that?
I vehemently disagree. Alex, who people listening may remember from the Earbud episode, is staying with me at the moment. I'm going to take these off because one is a sunglass, the other one is clear, and it's real.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He bought Mars flavored, and although Mars bars in the US are something else, aren't they? I think your Mars is our Milky Way.
Really? No, they have Milky Way.
I think so. Yeah, but there's something else.
Gas Cadet is asking, what are pods? Do you want to show the audience a pod?
Oh, yeah, I'll show. Okay, so it's like a little. I'm going to turn my background off so that you can actually see this.
Zoom backgrounds are never good.
Oh, I don't know. Zoom backgrounds are
And they always use them
the
on
height
the news.
of comedy. Okay, here we are.
They always use them on the news, and it's
Yeah,
like
it's
you
insane.
could not look less professional.
So this is a pod. So it's like a little like half circle of like some kind of wafer, I guess, that's covered in chocolate. And that nougaty, peanutty caramel thing in the middle.
Yeah. Nice work. All right.
Dimitri, I'm going to get to the bottom of this Mars bar thing, okay?
Okay.
Let's see what.
Dimitri wants to know what Mars bars have in them. While you get to the bottom of that, I'll introduce my unimpressive candy. I got a bag of Hi Chews, which are, I believe, I want to say a Korean snack. I could be wrong. And there are these little lollies which do not look very impressive at all on camera. And I thought they would look better. I thought, and I actually de-gloved them all. I took them all out of their wrappers and put them in this bowl, and it looks very pathetic. And this is my candy. They taste good.
Decloved them.
But they don't look very good on camera. So Haichu is Japanese. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. It's US Milky Ways are our Mars bars. Our Milky Ways don't have caramel in them. It's like a very light, like whipped nougat,
Right.
or nougat, as some people say. And Mars bars in the US used to have, had almonds in them. They were essentially our Mars bars, but with almonds.
What's the point in any of
There's
this?
no point. Just to pad out time on this live stream. Anyway, these are classic Kiwi lollies, fruit bursts.
Yeah.
Lemon and lime, best flavor, if you ask me. Anyway, AJ, do you want to yum 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 yum? Do you want to introduce the what do you call it? The table of contents, the order of
itinerary?
ceremonies. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought my little widget on Google.
Yeah, Dimitri mentioned Three Musketeers here are our Milky Ways. That's right, I think.
Right. Our YouTube live widget went from, hey, the connection's not very good, to excellent connection. So Dino X Machina says, it's too late here and I have COVID, so I'm going to sleep. Jesus. Get better soon, mate. Hope you're okay. So, we thought it'd be cool to read some creepypastas to each other, to our audience. And if anyone has any questions or anything else like that, please feel free to just lay them down at any time. That's all good. Help us get into the spookier spirit, as I don't know about you, Richard, but I get drunker and more full of candy.
I'm terrified.
Shall I begin?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. I'm going to read Ben Drowned.
Oh my god, is that right?
Ben Drowned is on creepypasta.com, and it's rated 9.10 out of 10. And I found it under the famous creepypastas tab. So let's see how long this thing is. Oh, okay, it's a bit longer than I expected, but that's okay.
Alright, maybe don't read that one then.
Oh my god, it's so long! Is there a way to know how long they are before we read them?
Before you commit to reading it?
There really isn't a way to tell. That's something I didn't anticipate. All right, well let's start with a shorter one then. Let's start with Candle Cove, which is a rating of 9.4 and is almost as short as Ben Drowned is long. So let's go. All right, so Candle Cove. All right, it's written as like forum posts or almost like an email chain back and forth. So the first message is from SkyShale033. Someone says Ben Drown's a whole fucking ARG, so it's too long. Okay, good note. SkyShale033, subject, Candle Cove local kids show. Does anyone remember this kids show? It was called Candle Cove, and I must have been 6 or 7. I never found reference to it anywhere, so I think it was on a local station around 1971 or 1972. I lived in Irontown at the time. I don't remember which station, but I do remember it was on at a weird time, like 4 p.m. Why is that a weird time? That feels like a very normal time to have a kids show on.
It's just as normal as every other time.
Yeah.
There's a 1 in 24 chance that any hour of the day will be 4 p.m.
That's true. Mike_Painter65 replies, it seems really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Ashland and was 9 years old in 72. Candle Cove. Was it about pirates? I remember a pirate marionette.
Was it about Jamaicans?
No. I remember a pirate marionette at the mouth of a cave talking to a little girl. SkyShale033 replies, yes, okay, I'm not crazy. I remember Pirate Percy. I was always kind of scared of him. He looked like he was built from parts of other dolls, real low budget. His head was an old porcelain baby doll, looked like an antique that didn't belong on the body. I don't remember what station this was. I don't think it was WTSF though. Jaron_2005 says, sorry to resurrect this old thread, but I know exactly what show you mean, SkyShale. I think Candle Cove ran for only a couple of months in 71, not 72. I was 12 and I watched it a few times with my brother. It was channel 58, whatever station that was. My mum would let me switch to it after the news. Let me see what I remember. It took place in Candle Cove, and it was about a little girl who imagined herself to be friends with pirates. The pirate ship was called Laughingstock, and Pirate Percy wasn't a very good pirate because he got scared too easily. And there was Calliope music constantly playing. Don't remember the girl's name, Janice or Jade or something. I think it was Janice. SkyShale033 replies, thank you, Jaron. Memories flooded back when you mentioned the Laughingstock and Channel 58. I remember the bow of the ship was a wooden smiley face. The bow of the ship. Not bow. The bow of the ship.
Dumbass.
With the lower jaw submerged. It looked like it was swallowing the sea, and it had that awful Ed Wynn voice and laugh. I especially remember how jarring it was when they switched from the wooden plastic model to the foam puppet version of the head that talked. Mike_Painter65 says, haha, I remember now too. Do you remember this part, SkyShale? You have to go inside. Skies Hale replies, "Ugh, Mike, I just got a chill reading that." "Yes, I remember. That's what the ship always told Percy when there was a spooky place he had to go in, like a cave or a dark room where the treasure was. And the camera would push in on Laughingstock's face, and with each pause, 'You have to go inside.' With his two eyes askew and that flopping foam jaw and that fishing line that opened and closed, ugh, it just looks so cheap and awful." You guys remember the villain? He had a face that was just a handlebar moustache above really tall, narrow teeth. Kevin_Hart chimes in. And he says, I honestly thought the
And he says, I'm short, and that's my whole thing.
He says, I honestly thought the villain was Pirate Percy. I was about 5 when the show was on. Nightmare fuel. Jaren_2005 says, that wasn't the villain, the puppet with the moustache. That was the villain's sidekick, Horace Horrible. He had a monocle too, but it was on top of the moustache. I used to think that meant he had only one eye. But yeah, the villain was another marionette, the Skin Taker. I can't believe they let us watch that back then. Kevin Hart says, Jesus H. Christ, the Skin Taker. What kind of kid show were we watching? I seriously could not look at the screen when the Skin Taker showed up. He just descended out of nowhere on his strings, just a dirty skeleton with that brown top hat and cape and his glass eyes that were too big for his skull. Christ almighty. Skies Hale 33 says, wasn't his top hat and cloak all sewn up crazily? Was that supposed to be children's skin? Mike Painter 65 says, yeah, I think so. Remember, his mouth didn't open and close. His jaw just slid back and forth. I remember that little girl said, why does your mouth move like that? And the Skin Taker didn't look at the girl but at the camera and said, to grind your skin. Skies Hale says, I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show. I used to have this awful memory. A bad dream I had where the opening jingle ended, the show faded in from black, and all the characters were there, but the camera was just cutting to each of their faces, and they were just screaming. And the puppets and marionettes were flailing spastically, and just all screaming. The girl was just moaning and crying like she had been through hours of this. I woke up many times from that nightmare. I used to wet the bed when I had it. Kevin Hart says, I don't think that was a dream. I remember that. I remember that was an episode. Skies Hale says, no, that's not possible. There was no plot or anything. I mean, literally just standing in place crying and screaming for the whole show. Kevin Hart says, maybe I'm manufacturing the memory because you said that, but I swear to God, I remember seeing what you described. They just screamed. Jaren 2005 says, oh God, yes, the little girl, Janice. I remember seeing her shake, and the Skin Taker screaming through his gnashing teeth, his jaw careening so wildly I thought it would come off its wire hinges. I turned it off, and it was the last time I watched. I ran to tell my brother, and we didn't have the courage to turn it back on. Mike Painter says, I visited Mum today at the nursing home. I asked her about when I was a little kid in the early 70s, when I was 8 or 9, and if she remembered a kids' show, Candle Cove. She said she was surprised I could remember that, and I asked why, and she said, because I used to think it was so strange that you said, I'm going to go watch Candle Cove now, Mum, and then you would just tune the TV to static and just watch dead air for 30 minutes. You had a big imagination with your little pirate show. Dun, dun, dun. It's credit to Chris Scrobb. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, that was a very spooky story. I might change my outfit.
Change your underwear?
Yep, because I wet the bed, because I'm a loser.
Because I wet the bed!
All right, I need to...
Let's look at some of these comments.
Don't look.
I'm not looking. All right, Vincent says COVID is a bad flavour of candy.
He's right.
He's planning to watch Halloween 2018, Trick or Treat, and The Exorcist tonight. Someone says you could have done research. Dimitri said that. I don't know what he's referring to.
The fact that we didn't have any ready, and you were like, "Oh, this one's supposed to be a classic."
Maybe he was talking about you not knowing shit about Mars bars.
This is my next outfit. Yeah, it's me. You might not be able to recognise me, but it's Richard.
It's actually me.
This is like like in movies, like masquerade balls. It does have there's like a feather. Yeah, and they're like, oh my god, like Cinderella story. Just call me Chad Michael Murray.
Eyes Wide Shut or A Cinderella Story.
Yeah, those two equal films. Yeah, Dimitri said it was because of you not knowing how long they are. So I did the research into the Mars bar thing.
Very good. Network 1901 says Kevin Hart is in every spooky story I can think of, and Vincent agrees that losers wet the bed as a child. So
he's right. All right, should I find a creepypasta?
Or should I just say Richard? Because you're always sexy. The joke being.
The joke being the idea that someone would find me sexy.
Someone asked, Local Boy 808 State says, how long are you guys going for? Is this going to be uploaded somewhere else? Hey, we're going to go for a little while, maybe a couple hours, I don't know. And yeah, it'll be uploaded. Richard, I'm hardly even
17. All right. Just looking for a good creepypasta. The Slender Man.
Is Slender Man an actual creepypasta?
Yeah, it's very long though.
Oh, it's like, oh right, yeah.
God, this is surprisingly hot wearing this.
Go get some beer, Local Boy 808 State. Come back, we'll still be here, drinking with you in spirit.
Oh, the Goatman story is the fourth highest rated on this thing that I'm reading. Ooh. Hoo-ah.
Hoo-ah.
What else is there? Jeff the Killer, Ben Drowned is there.
Jeff the Killer, dude.
Have you read it?
No, but it's a classic.
What about Russian Sleep Killer Experiment?
How about I do Russian Sleep Experiment next? And
right,
you do...
Okay.
You do Jeff
Okay, let me pull it up.
Provided it's
well,
not too
I'll
long.
see how... Oh, Jesus, fuck that.
Is it too long?
No, there's just a very scary picture on it.
Oh, yeah, it's Jeff the Killer, dude.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before. It's scary.
Oh, that's in my quiz.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is quite long. I'm not reading this. I did not like that one bit. God, why would you tell me to fucking read that? What about normal porn for normal people? Should I find that one?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Norm.
Let us know in the comments what's your favourite creepypasta. I'm very curious to know that. What do people like in the creepypasta? Or do you not like creepypastas? Because that is also...
Yeah, you like me and you just don't like them. Okay, here we go.
Jake Morris says, I don't think I've ever seen someone unironically drink Smirnoff Ice. Dude, it's so easy to drink. I'm having a great time. I do have some wine later, but right now, it's Smirnoff time.
All right, let me just, before we start the story, this laptop is going hard on the fan, so I'm just going to set up. I'm going to elevate it off the table a little bit.
Oh, Banana Pie Production says Richard want to come over tonight.
I am invited to his house.
Oh, who is it?
We might do. Michael.
Michael. Oh, Michael.
We'll see how this goes.
Because you're sexy.
Well, I am.
I know.
There's no Richard here, though. There's just me, Chad Michael Murray.
You should change your Halloween name to...
I'm doing that, yeah. Rename. There we go.
Should I change mine to... it's a pirate, not Jamaican?
Oh. All right, I need to put on a more appropriately scary costume for this one. You'll like this. Is it scary?
I spelled Jamaican right? Sorry, I was very concerned with if I could spell Jamaican right.
Let me have a look.
Why would you change your name
that's right.
to Chad Michael Murray? Oh, I didn't spell it right. Why would you change your name to Chad Michael Murray and then put on a different...
Well, I'm now the career of Chad Michael Murray.
Dead.
Because I'm dead.
I get it.
Anyway, I thought I was going to get a bigger reaction from this costume.
I was so swept up in renaming that I that was my bad. These are the follies of live stream, dude.
Oh, God, ow.
Emma Hewitt says, clearly Jack Sparrow. Thank you. Thank you, Emma. Means a lot. That didn't last long.
Well, yeah, because I fucking spent so much money on that thing, and then you're like, oh, I'm too busy trying to spell Jamaican. Oh, yeah, now I'm Chad Michael Scary again.
Okay.
Maybe when there's more people. All right, here we go. Normal porn for normal people. Just an admin's notice from the Creepypasta fandom. Due to the Wiki's terms of use, we have removed parts of the story that refer to animal cruelty and or animal abuse. This one is somewhat long. Well, it's not actually that long.
Don't read any of them because they're all too long.
All right, here we go. Music, please. Can you please sing me a spooky theme?
I
was working in the lab late one night. They did the mash. They did the monster mash.
Are we going to get copyright strike?
All right, okay. I don't think it was good enough to get copyright strike. Okay. Everybody knows that if you surf the web long enough, you'll see some pretty sick shit. This is especially true if you intentionally dwell into the dark underbelly of the internet. I've seen quite a few things I don't care to admit to, but one thing that I'll always remember is a site called normalpornfornormalpeople.com. The first strange thing about the site was that I didn't find it by actually looking for it. It was emailed to me by someone I didn't know. The email was as follows. Hi there. Found this site is very nice. Thought you might like. normalpornfornormalpeople.com. Pass it on for the good of mankind. Pretty standard issue chain letter, although the URL and the last remark really piqued my curiosity. I was having a very boring day when I got this, so I made sure my antivirus was working, and then I clicked on it. It was a very average, very generic-looking site. It gave the impression that the creators just barely gave a shit about making it look professional. The author seemed to have a very tenuous grasp on English, and the front page was a long, boring, and incoherent rant that I don't remember or have saved. Rant, I suppose. The site had a strange tagline, which even today people haven't figured out the meaning of, which was Normal Porn for Normal People, a website dedicated to the eradication of abnormal sexuality. And from the sound of that, I wasn't sure whether I was here to watch porn or if I had stumbled onto some kind of eugenics program. But here I was now. And I was very, very curious to see what normal porn get their rocks off to. Or normal people, get their rocks off to. So I scrolled down through the rant and nothing. The page didn't seem to link anywhere else, and I was about to leave when I noticed every word of the rant was its own hyperlink. So I clicked one of them, and was sent to a white page with a very long list of links in the form of normalpornfornormalpeople.com/random letters. So I stopped for a minute and asked myself if I really wanted to waste God knows how much time clicking random links that will likely give me a virus that will rape my computer. I figured I'd just try it for maybe 5 minutes just to see if anything came up. I clicked one of the links and was sent to another page. This page apparently had totally different URLs than the last one. I was about to say, fuck this, when I clicked on the third link and a video download came up. It was called peanut.avi. It was a 30-minute video of a man, a woman, and a dog in a kitchen. The woman would make a peanut butter sandwich, and the man would set it down for the dog to eat. That was all that happened for 30 minutes. It was obvious that the cameraman had to stop filming and wait until the dog was ready again, and the dog seemed rather sick by the end of it. I know what you're thinking. What the hell does that have to do with porn? I have no clue. I've seen little over 24 videos from this site, and the majority had no sexual activity at all. After watching peanut.avi, I went on a certain image board I frequently play online, show and tell, and like always I always do with weird shit like this. But someone had already made a thread about it. Some guy who had received the same chain letter I did. The image board threads got lots of people with nothing better to do to dig through the site, and that's how I saw other videos. Most of those 24 videos were very uneventful and consisted of people talking to the cameraman in a room with nothing but a desk and a few chairs. I mean, literally nothing on the walls, or in terms of furniture. The whole room had a very cold, sterile feel to it. The conversations were just idle banter about previous jobs or embarrassing childhood memories. I kept expecting some kind of discussion about what the people were filming or what the site was about, but of course nothing. You would never know these videos had anything to do with porn if you saw it out of context. I will say one thing though, the people who appeared in these videos were quite attractive.
Oh.
However,
now I'm
interested. Not. Good thing I'm wearing this mask. The sexy mask, the sexy costume. Yeah. However, the other videos that actually did feature content, which I suppose could be called sexual, is where things got weird. I'll give a brief description of the stranger videos. If you're really eaten up with curiosity, you can try and hunt them down on a torrent site. Lickedclean.avi, a 10-minute video filmed by a hidden camera in which we see a repairman working on a washing machine for the first 2 minutes. When it's fixed, the repairman goes to the owner briefly and then leaves. The owner checks to make sure the repairman is gone, and he begins to lick all over the top of the washing machine. This goes on for 7 minutes. Jimbo.avi, a 5-minute video of an obese mime performing his act. It was actually pretty funny, particularly in one part where he pretends to pull up a chair and then pretends that it breaks because of his weight. In the last 30 seconds of the video, the camera cuts to static briefly and then cuts to the man sobbing quietly, still wearing mime outfit and makeup. Some kind of obscure fetish, perhaps. Diana.avi, 4-minute video in which the cameraman talks to a woman in a room different from the interview room we've seen earlier. This room looks like one you'd find in a normal person's house. Exactly where they are is never specified, as Diana only talks about her violin playing. She obviously plays her violin, but keeps getting distracted by something. I didn't notice this until someone on the image board thread pointed it out, but if you look at the mirror in the background, you can see a fat man in a chicken mask masturbating.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, brother.
Jessica.avi, another 4-minute cameraman video. This time he's outside a house talking to another young woman. They talk about canoe rides. The camera zooms out to reveal the city streets behind them occasionally. The strange thing is, no one so far has been able to identify where this street is. Guesses have ranged from everywhere from Europe to Australia to the Philippines, but there's yet to be a match for the street shown in the video. There's only a couple more of these. There's 4 more. Tongue-tied, 10-minute video. The first 5 minutes consist of an elderly woman making out with a mannequin. The video cuts out like it did in Jimbo.avi halfway through, and the scene is now a group of mannequins huddled together in a circle around the camera. The lights have been dimmed, and the elderly woman is nowhere to be seen. From this point on, there is no sound. Stumps.avi, 5-minute long video where a man with no legs is attempting to break dance on a DDR mat in what looks like the kitchen from Peanut.avi, but much dirtier. There's a radio playing music unseen in the background, but it stops at the 4-minute mark when the man collapses on the mat in exhaustion. He breathes heavily and pleads with someone off-screen to let him rest. This off-screen person becomes terrifyingly enraged and yells at him to keep dancing, which he does. You can hear this off-screen person begin to scream as the video ends abruptly. Privacy.avi. The woman from Diana.avi is masturbating on a mattress in the interview room, while the man from Stumps.avi walks around on his hands while wearing some kind of goblin mask. The door in this room was always closed in the other videos, but now it's open. In this video, the only light is in the room, and the hallway is dark. Near the end of the video, you can see an animal quickly run through the hallway. And finally, the last video we uncovered. Useless.avi. In this 18-minute video, a blonde woman from one of the previous interview videos is tied down to a mattress in the interview room. She attempts to scream, but her mouth is taped over. After 7 minutes, a man in a black suit and a mask opens the door, but he does not enter. He holds the door open for the animal that was running in the hall in the previous video. It's revealed to be an adult chimpanzee, its hair shaved, and its entire body painted red. When the chimp enters the room, the masked man closes the door behind it. The chimpanzee sniffs the air, and for a moment, it may have been blind, and notices the woman tied to the mattress. It goes into a frenzy and begins to maul her. The assault goes on for a grueling 7 minutes until the woman finally dies. The chimp eats flesh from her corpse for 4 minutes after, as the video ends. The thread exploded with activity after this video was uncovered, and people discussed it long into the night. When I came back into the image board the next day, I found that the thread was deleted. I tried to start another one. They banned me. I tried emailing the guy who sent me the chain letter with the site's URL, sent him 5 messages and never got a response. I've tried to discuss this website on various places, and I got banned frequently. The site itself was also deleted about 3 days after useless.avi was uncovered, likely because someone had contacted the authorities about it. The only proof that normal porn for normal people.com ever existed was a few screen caps people took and videos from the site that people saved and uploaded onto torrents, the most popular of which being useless.avi, which found its way onto a few gore sites. Wherever you upload them to, all of the videos from normalpornfornormalpeople.com get deleted after a while. And that was written by Cosby Death.
Very fun live stream. You're right.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of comments. Network 1901
Can't
says,
breathe under that thing. God, I can understand why people don't want to wear masks.
normal porn for normal people feels like a Biden-Harris 2020 slogan, and I'm here for it. That's good. What's that one?
That's very funny. Hawkeye.
Ah, very cool. Yeah, so that was what I like about creepypastas, and I think I've talked about this somewhere before. It might have been on the creepypasta episode. It might have been on that video we made. But like, it's so cool how like the topics are catered to ubiquitous internet experiences. You know,
Right? Like a goat man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sort of. Like, well, reading a forum post is that's what Go Man is. The normal porn for normal people is great because it's about finding an obscure website with, videos that don't make a lot of sense on it. Like, I've done that. I've had that experience, and you're always worried you're going to find something creepy, so it's cool to, yeah.
Yeah. Scare me, Renner.
That's good. That's good. Sorry, the way I'm looking at my computer is like the YouTube thing is covering 1/3 of your screen.
You know, like as much as I hate like wearing wigs, this is actually the most. Can you hear that?
Yeah, what's going on?
Someone driving past with like really loud music. Like the door is shut.
Wow.
Like the door to my balcony. I'm gonna. This one's actually one of the more comfortable ones, surprisingly.
I might take the wig off. What do you think? Is this a normal porn for normal people video? Hold on, just a second. I'm going to take this wig off.
All right, don't wig out. All right, let me get another scary background. Here we go.
Yes. I should have just done it this way from the start.
Which what movie is this?
Scary Movie 5.
Can you tell?
Yeah.
It is Scary Movie 5 because it's got this one.
That one. Yep. Well, among other things. I actually noticed Sarah Hyland first.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. What's a scary name I can give myself? Oh, A. Jaywalking. Very scary. Okay. All right, everybody. Someone asked, is it Hulk or Frankenstein?
Hulkenstein.
Oh.
It appears to be Frankenstein. If you look at it like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Charlie Sheen. I can
there
see.
you go. See, look, you can see that now. Yeah, it's clearly.
It's clearly the living dead. Yeah, okay, so I can read one now. Shall we do that? But before I do that, I'm going to have a little glass of wine. I've got...
Are you having wine? You're not really a wine drinker, are you?
Stone's green ginger wine. Can we see that?
Oh, what the hell?
And you wait till you'll be going to be so disappointed when you see how not green it is. But I do have a ever so piratey glass here to drink it out of.
Wow, that is very priority.
Is that green? Would you call that green?
I wouldn't even call that wine.
Fair enough. It doesn't really taste like wine. It smells
What does
a
it taste
little
like?
bit like medicine.
It smells like musk.
Oh man, that was too much. Yeah, that was awful. It's real good mulled wine. Emma says
Right.
the ginger they make it from is green. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read the Russian sleep experiment, which isn't that long.
Okay. I'm gonna play with my face. After this one, should we do some other stuff? We could do some horror quizzes. You could give me your quiz.
The quiz is too long. And it's too multimedia to put on an already very complicated live stream software.
It's the wrong one.
Oh, what was that? Is that the alien from Signs? Okay, the Russian sleep experiment.
What is that?
Jess has come to say hi.
She's come
Oh,
to
wait.
interrupt, is what she's doing.
Right, let me take the background off and then here we go. Everyone say hi, Jess.
Oh my god, you can't see a thing in these. Hello. How's the stream going?
Good. We're having good fun, aren't we, AJ?
Yes.
Is AJ just cycling through different types of pirates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've gone through
Not
two.
Jamaicans.
Jamaican and not Jamaican.
Very politically correct of you, AJ.
Ugh,
I'm
you're
not- I don't-
Jamaican me crazy.
You know when someone's like, "Oh, I'm not very PC." You know when they do that.
Yeah,
Sorry, the
I say that all the time.
live stream just screwed up a bit, but we should be back to normal now. Jake says hi, Jess. Vincent
Oh yeah, I
says
can see
hello,
your
Jess.
cursor moving.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's an amazing screenshot.
get it, dude.
That froze so funny.
Screenshot.
I did.
All right.
Oh, that is gonna come back to haunt you.
Okay, the Russian sleep experiment. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they only had microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into their chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on but no bedding, running water and toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained, having been promised falsely that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past, and the general tone of the conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were and started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other and began alternately whispering to the microphones and one-way mirrored portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other subjects in captivity with them. At first, the researchers suspected that this was an effect of the gas itself. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly, yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight. He continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behaviour is how the other captives reacted to it, or rather didn't react to it. They continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The two non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. The screaming promptly stopped. So did the whispering into the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it was impossible that no sound could be coming from with 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at a very heavy level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives that they were afraid captives they were afraid were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase in a calm voice response, "We no longer want to be freed." Debate broke out among the researchers and the military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. The chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphones began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the life of loved ones, to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened and soldiers sent to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them were in life. The food rations past day 5 had not been so much as touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead test subjects' thighs and chests stuffed into the drain in the centre of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor. Precisely how much of the water was on the floor was actually blood was never determined. All 4 surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth as the researchers initially thought. Closer examination of the position and angles of the wounds indicated that most, if not all of them, were self-inflicted. The abdominal organs below the ribcage of all 4 test subjects had been removed. While the heart, lungs and diaphragm remained in place, the skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the ribcage. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They had just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that what they were digesting was their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. Most of the soldiers were Russian, special operatives at the facility, but still many refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber and alternately begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on lest they fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out, another was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives, if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident. In the struggle, one of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured and he bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of morphine derivative, and he still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one of the doctors. When heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out, to the point where there was more air in his vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach and just repeating the word "more" over and over, weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent. The surviving 3 test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility, the 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begging for the gas, demanding to be kept awake. The most injured of the three was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative that they had given him to prepare for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints when the anesthetic gas was brought out to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, even through the weight of a 200-pound soldier holding that wrist as well. It took only a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under, and then the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. In the autopsy, the test subject that died on the operating table, it was found that his blood had triple the normal levels of oxygen. His muscles were still attached to his skeleton, were badly torn, and he had broken 9 bones in his struggle to not be subdued. Most of them were from the force of his own muscles he had exerted on them. The second survivor had been the first of the group of the 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords destroyed, he was unable to beg or object to surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought near him. He shook his head yes when someone suggested reluctantly that they try the surgery without anesthetic, and did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin. The surgeon stated that repeatedly that it should be medically possible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisted the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers. When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze loudly, attempting to talk while struggling. Assuming this must be some kind of drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and pad fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple. Keep cutting. The other 2 test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well, although they had to be injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while their patients laughed continuously. Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic cleared their system in an abnormally short period. Not abdominally. An abnormally short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the stimulant gas. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they had ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given: I must remain awake. All 3 subjects' restraints were reinforced and they were placed back into the chamber awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects. The commanding officer, an ex-KGB, instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. The researchers strongly objected, but they were overruled. In preparation of being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all 3 stopped struggling at that moment. Struggling the moment it was let slip that they were going back on the gas. It was obvious that at this point all 3 were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds with all his might, first left, then right, then left again, for something to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off the pillow and blinking rapidly. Having been the first to be wired for EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brainwaves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if he were repeatedly suffering brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on paper scrolling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut at the same moment that his head hit the pillow. His brainwaves immediately changed to that of deep sleep, then flatlined for the last time as his heart simultaneously stopped. The only remaining subject that can speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brainwaves showed the same flat lines as one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as 3 researchers. One of the named 3 immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes, then turned his gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to a bed, as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. "I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you," he screamed at the man strapped on the table. "What are you?" he demanded. "I must know." The subject smiled. "Have you forgotten so easily?" the subject asked. "We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread." The researcher paused. Then he aimed at the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out, "So nearly free."
Is that it?
That's it. What'd you think?
I didn't like it.
No, what didn't you like about it?
Oh, yeah. You got me there.
Got to back up these things, don't you? I think the explanation for what they are is kind of lame. I don't know if I need it.
Yeah, it's very... Well, it's weird because it's not like I think the cool thing about creepypastas, like you were saying before, is that it's so like related. It's such a relatable experience, but this is just like a creative writing.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like, oh, I stumbled across these these documents that were finally released to the public or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a movie of this coming out this year, apparently.
What's it called?
The Sleep Experiment.
Oh, maybe it won't be Russian.
No. In Soviet Russia. Okay, so should we can take a little break, not like leaving the live stream necessarily, but we could do some other fun things.
Yeah.
Do you want to have one of your candies and review it? Anyone in the comments, do you want to, if you ask us anything, ask us about horror movies.
Ask me anything. I'll tell you anything about horror movies you want to know.
What name a horror movie?
The Shining.
Name 2.
Doctor Sleep.
You saw Dr. Sleep, eh?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was really good. I think it probably should have been like a TV miniseries. It felt like it suited that kind of treatment more than... Yeah. You know what I mean?
Dimitri asked, what is the last horror movie he watched?
I watched. You watched.
No, he watched.
Oh, he did say hi. Dimitri, the last horror movie you watched was Black Christmas. I'm deciding.
I'm going to say it was Muppet Treasure Island.
Jake Morris says, have you seen Sleepaway Camp? I have not seen Sleepaway Camp, but I have seen the shot at the end where the girl is like smiling and looking to the left, and I think it might be one of the scariest things I've ever seen. I don't know what the context is, but it's such a scary expression on her face, and I keep seeing it in things. I keep watching video essays that draw attention to it and then quickly show that shot, and I'm like, stop. It's so scary. Do you know the face? Have you seen the shot?
Yeah, it was in a little documentary. It was in Scream Queen, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you agree? It's such a scary face.
It is. Yeah, it's almost like Uncanny Valley-ish.
Yeah. Because they look kind of happy. If people know what we're talking about, don't spoil the movie because they haven't seen it.
Pretty good after the entire movie. Sucks you've seen it already, says Jake. Vincent asked, what horror franchises or worlds would you like to see crossover? Crossover with like the real world. Halloween Town and the real world.
All right, let's, on the count of 3, let's each say a horror movie and those will be our answer.
Okay.
3.
Wait, no. Okay, go.
3, 2, 1. The Grudge.
Midsummer.
Oh, The Grudge in Midsummer. Yeah, let's see the cult from Midsummer have to undergo some kind of a haunting attack.
Yeah, like a haunting of Hill House,
Have you seen that?
but a haunting of that barn. No, I haven't. Everyone said it was real scary, so I didn't watch it.
I've heard that one was scary, and I've heard that the haunting of Bly Manor is real gay. As a not in a pejorative sense, as in
What's the gayest horror movie you've seen?
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah, it's great.
It's the best thing about the movie.
Yeah, it actually is. Like, it's one of those ones like you want to be like, yeah, it's the best one because it's got like all these like really clever like themes, whether intentional or not, but then it's like it's actually just not very good.
Demetrius said the last horror movie he saw was The Vitch. The Vivitch. Someone says Sleepaway Camp has 5 films, by the way. Okay, so it could be a franchise we covered. Kate asks, when am I finally going to throw a Halloween party? Kate, I'm throwing one right now. Kate's a real life friend.
And you're here.
Yeah. You're here. You're at the party.
My wig keeps disappearing.
We're at the party. Turn the music up. Let's get it started. Come on, girl, shake your butt. I'm looking for a girl who... I'm not going to sing those lyrics. Those are bad lyrics.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a horror movies taglines quiz.
Okay.
So I'll give you a tagline. You have to tell me what it is.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, this one's quite easy. We have 5 minutes as well. In October of 1994, 3 student filmmakers disappeared in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland, while shooting a documentary. A year later, their footage was found.
The answer is the Blair Witch Project.
Very good. The screen's master of suspense moves his camera into the icy blackness of the unexplained.
The Thing?
The Thing is not a possible option.
What are the possible options?
Alien, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Carrie, The Descent, Dracula, The Exorcist, Final Destination, Frankenstein, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Insidious, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Jaws, Night of the Living Dead, The Omen, Poltergeist, Psycho, Ring, Rosemary's Baby, Saw, Scream, The Shining, Sinister, and The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
There's so many of them. What is the line again?
The screen's master of suspense moves his camera into the icy blackness of the unexplained.
Alien.
Actually, you can go next, and we can come back to that one once we've narrowed a few down, if you want.
These are all options.
Yeah. In space, no one can hear you scream.
Alien.
It's not the house that's haunted.
What is it?
Would that be Poltergeist?
I guess so.
That's wrong. The man who made a monster.
Frankenstein.
Once you see him, nothing can save you.
What do you think?
These are just... Is it Sinister? I don't know anything about Sinister.
Yeah. It's Sinister.
It is. Someone has taken their love of scary movies one step too far.
Scream.
If Nancy doesn't wake up screaming, she won't wake up at all.
The Nightmare on Elm Street. A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's singular.
Lucky 13? I think not. Friday the 13th, because it mentions 13. Yeah. Death doesn't take no for an answer.
Final Destination.
Yep. Pray for title.
Carrie.
So it clearly has the title of it, yeah. Oh, it wasn't Carrie. Pray for Jaws. Oh, actually, I think I know what it probably was. What? Good morning. You are one day closer to the end of the world. You have been warned.
God, without them in front of me, I couldn't say.
Yeah. The night he came home.
That's Halloween.
That's Halloween. We know that one. The horror is driving him crazy. That's got to be Psycho, right?
Yeah.
No, wait, no. Although you're not supposed to know.
I'm not supposed to know.
Oh, The Shining. That'd be The Shining, wouldn't it? Yeah, it was.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Who will survive, and what will be left of them? I feel like we've covered this one.
Texas
haven't we?
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes. The blood is life.
Dracula?
Dracula? When you're trapped 2 miles underground, there are many ways to lose your mind. Claustrophobia, disorientation, isolation, paranoia, terror. That's the
Descent, yeah.
From a dimension beyond the living, a terror to scare you to death. That's Poltergeist.
Right, okay.
Sleep, and be born again into a world without fear and hate. Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. One curse, one cure, 1 week to find it. That's got to be
The Ring?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The nation's #1 best-selling book, now the screen's super thriller.
The Shining?
We're already done The Shining. It could be Psycho?
Yep, that'll be it.
Because that's a very, like... Oh, no, it wasn't. Take blank to the prom, I dare you.
Carrie.
That's scary. The movie you've been waiting for, without the wait.
How's White spelt?
AWIT. Okay. Okay, they keep coming back in a bloodthirsty lust for human flesh. That's Another Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Live or die, make your choice. Oh god, we're running out of time. The Screwmaster suspense of Icy Blackness, the unexplained.
Dude, you're scaring me.
I'm scared. All right, our time is up. Okay, The Exorcist was the movie you've been waiting for, without the wait. It's not the house that's haunted. Was Insidious. The nation's #1 best-selling book, now the screen's super thriller, was Jaws. Good morning. You are one day closer to the end of the world. You have been warned. Was The Omen.
All right.
The screen's master of suspense moves his camera into the icy blackness of the unexplained, was Psycho. The one directed by the undeniable screen master of suspense.
That I think what put me off there was Icy Blackness. Made me think, right, so it's a snowy movie.
Yeah. And Pray for Rosemary's Baby, which I realized after I clicked that one. And Live or Die, Make Your Choice was, of course, Saw.
Which of those movies have you seen?
I have seen Alien, A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Blair Witch Project, Final Destination, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Jaws, Night of the Living Dead.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Scream, The Shining, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My favorite scary movie is probably Scream.
That's good, because that's what you answered when I said it.
When
I was like, what's your favorite scary movie? You're like, Scream, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I do really like Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
Nice.
All right, let's see if there's more. Sporkle has more horror quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess the movie by the hints?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. That doesn't look like they're all horror movies, but they're horror adjacent, I guess. Okay, here's your hints. Severed ear, diamonds, suits.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. Wheelchair, neighbor, murder.
Rear Window.
Correct. Soap, mayhem, insomnia.
Fight Club.
Cowboy, astronaut, slinky. These are scary movies.
Toy Story.
Yeah. Las Vegas, Samoan, mescaline.
Do you know it?
Is it The Hangover?
How would it be The Hangover?
No, it's not.
What is it? What?
Oh, God. My connection's unstable.
Uh-oh. What is
Beethoven, Moloko, Droogs. That's A Clockwork Orange.
it? Okay.
I can't tell you what ones we don't get until shoe polish, Milkmaid, Quick Stop. Sure, some of these are hard.
Is it Clerks?
Actually, I'm going to give up so I get all the answers,
Okay.
and then I can so I can just tell you. It is Clerks. Albino, ROUS, Six Fingers.
That is The Princess Bride. And ROUS stands for Rodents of Unusual Size.
Slugworth, Gobstopper, Golden Goose.
Willy Wonka.
Yep. Celador, Frank, Sparkle Motion.
What is that? What is that?
Would it help if I said that Frank was a giant bunny?
Oh, Donnie Darko? Or S. Darko?
Yeah.
It's not S. Darko?
Yes, very good. Roses, video camera, plastic bag.
That is American Beauty.
It is. Head cheese, meat hook, hitchhiker.
I know what you did last summer.
No.
Head cheese.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
All right.
Typewriter, hotel, X.
The Shining.
Yep. Well, I can sense that this is running its course, the quiz, so I'm going to stop there. Do you have anything you want to put to me?
Okay. All right. I'm gonna. Why don't we play a game of what am I looking at?
Okay.
Spooky edition. All right.
What am I spooking at?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Anyone in the comments as well, feel free to chime in if you'd like us to do anything.
Okay, what am I looking at, Richard?
You're at this campfire too. Are you looking at something from a horror movie?
Yes.
Is it something we've covered on the podcast?
No.
Oh. Have I seen it?
No.
Is it like ubiquitous?
Yeah, you'll know it.
Is it the main thing? Like, are you looking at an item?
Technically.
Or is it like you're looking at like a frame from a film?
No, I'm looking at a character.
Oh, okay. Is the character human?
No. The character's an item.
Are they human-esque?
Yes.
Are they an android?
They're not an android.
Are they from Right, but it's like that kind of thing.
It's a human-shaped object.
Was it a robot?
No.
Is it Bicentennial Man?
It's not Bicentennial Man. That is a robot. Although he doesn't become a robot by the end, isn't that right?
Is it Haley Joel Osment from
You keep guessing robots.
Artificial Intelligence?
Why are you guessing robots? Why would you guess robots?
Are they a toy that becomes a real boy?
No.
That rules out quite a bit.
That rules out all my Pinocchio-inspired fiction.
Is it Pinocchio?
No.
Okay.
It's not too dissimilar from Pinocchio, though, in concept.
Pinocchio. Dumbass.
Pond 5. That's where you get royalty-free music from. Pond 5.
Is it animated?
No.
Is it from a movie in the last 10 years?
No. Well, not originally. It's been in a movie in the last 10 years.
Right. Is it from a franchise?
Yes.
Is it the main thing in that franchise?
It's pretty ubiquitous with the franchise. Like, people will look at it and go, oh, that's from this franchise.
Is it the name of the franchise?
Partially.
But not the first film in the franchise?
No, all films in the franchise... Actually, one film in the franchise is named after this thing, but most of them are named after a word that is part of the thing that I'm looking at.
Is it Chucky?
No.
Fuck.
You're on the right track, though. People are saying, "Can I guess?" Yeah.
Have I seen?
You guys can guess in the comments.
Yeah, go. Yeah. I don't give a shit.
I didn't even care about your dumb little.
Are they considered good?
The first one is.
Yep.
I don't think it's very good though.
Can I get a decade for the first film?
The 2000s.
Okay. How many films?
There's a 9th one coming out this year, or was going to come out this year.
Fast and Furious.
It's like not even. It's none of the other things you've said.
It's a started in 2000s. Has a 9th one coming out.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's
not a humanoid object.
Sure. Yeah.
So is it not from a horror movie? Okay, all right.
Okay, so it's from. Oh, is it? What's his name? Jigsaw.
It is Jigsaw. You got it.
Just as Vincent's comment came up, saying Saw.
There you go.
I'm pretty smart.
You're pretty good. Hey, should we start descending into end of stream? Is there anything else we want to do for our Halloween live stream?
I thought we could do. Should we tease this week's podcast?
Sure
because it's going to be a little bit late.
Yeah, the podcast's going to be a little bit late because not to over-tease, but there's another very special thing that's coming out on Monday, and so we decided to push the podcast back, but we have reason to because the thing we want to do for the podcast is not complete until after Monday.
Yeah. So I think we can record it on Monday night, and then it'll be out as soon as we can get it out, kind of thing. Does anyone want to take a guess as to what we're doing?
Guess what we're doing? We're going to be discussing.
No, they're guessing.
Yeah, but it takes 30 seconds.
I thought I could give. There's something I could read, which would be a little tease, and it's not a creepypasta, but it's the original creepypasta.
Please read me the original creepypasta.
And I want to see if based on that people can guess what we're doing.
Yeah.
So some of you might know this already, but it's a very good story. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more. Distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now to still the beating of my heart I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, this it is and nothing more." People are starting to guess. Presently, my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, or "Madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more."
People are guessing, dude.
Deep into that darkness, peering long, I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token. And the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and echo murmured back the word, Lenore. Merely this and nothing more.
Nothing more.
Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard her tapping somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat it is. What there it is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. While open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with a mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird, beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stirred decorum of the countenance and war. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
Much I marvelled at this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven sitting loudly on the placid bust spoke only that one word, as of his soul in that one word did he outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, until I scarcely more than he muttered, Other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said,
Nevermore.
Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster till songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling at all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of the bird to bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplighting gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. How long is this? I'm I am almost finished. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respites, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff, this kind nepine and forgot this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet still, of if bird or devil where the tempter sent, or where the tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted on this desert land enchanted, on this on this home by horror haunted, tell me, truly I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell the soul with sorrow laden, if within the ancient Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels named Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore. Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
There's two more paragraphs left. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest of the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit thy bust above thy door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven,
Nevermore.
And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming. And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws a shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore.
So good, man. What? That's like punk rock, dude. Edgar Allan Poe was punk rock, dude. What a cool story. So that some people have guessed in the comments, we are going to be discussing.
Thanks, I just came up with it.
Oh, yeah, there you go. We are going to be discussing the Treehouse of Horror episodes, which the latest one comes out on our Monday night. So
yeah,
get ready for that.
Yeah, so I mean, we can officially announce it because we announce these things in advance all the time.
Yeah.
But we're going to be so Treehouse of Horror 31 XXXI comes out on our Monday afternoon, so we're going to be watching that. But in the last, AJ's been doing one a day for the month, and I watched them all within the last week.
Not exactly.
Obviously, I haven't seen them all before.
I didn't watch them all once a day. I sometimes watched a few a day, and etc. etc. Originally not for content.
So,
originally just because I wanted to, and then we're like, well, why not turn something into content?
To create something out of nothing. So what we're going to be doing is ranking every segment of Treehouse of Horror. So what's that? 93 segments now.
Woo! Some of it will be real easy to rank.
Yeah, I think we're going to be pretty quickly able to throw out quite a lot of them. That'll be below. Yeah, we still haven't necessarily decided on whether we're going to do like a tier ranking system, whether we just kind of list certain ones as, so that way we can be like all of these are like B or C tier. Yeah. Or if we want to create like a definitive ranking. But yeah, hopefully you guys are into that. And while we're still here, what's everyone's favorite Treehouse of Horror segment?
That's true. And after we finish this up, head on over to Network 1901, who's also doing a super secret Halloween live show right now, nicely dovetailing with the end of ours. Which, thank you so much for following. I apologize for getting visibly more drunk as the thing went on. I thought that would motivate me, but instead it made me more sleepy, I think, than I thought I would be. But how are you, Rich? You drank anything?
I have been drinking. I'm on my second cider. I've been just
pacing yourself,
focusing on this. Yeah. Jake Morris is said no beer, no TV, make Homer something. Which I guess his favorite is The Shinning.
The Shinning,
a classic.
Cool.
Which I'm sure, no doubt, will be discussed on Tuesday or Wednesday's episode of the podcast.
Ad nauseum.
You're going to get sick of us discussing it.
Cool. So let's wrap it up there, I guess. Happy Halloween. Thank you for watching our live stream. Thank you for being this invested in us. I feel very delighted to have people who are interested in things I do and things we do enough to watch us talk for 2 hours. Probably not about, but an hour and a half, closer to. But yeah. Peace out. Happy Halloween. Go eat some candy. I'm a pirate.
I got like one of the M&Ms, got
wow.
The color. I've licked it some of it off, but it stained my hand.
I keep expecting you to rhyme what you're saying. The M&M upon my.
Was that a good reading? Was that a good reading of The Raven? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's so dope, dude.
Do you think that's going to go down as like one of those like classic moments in Popture history?
Ah. Cool.
Look what I've got by my computer.
Oh, I've been Uber Eatsing Happy Meals to see what see what toy I get, and I've gotten a Daffy Duck one and a Pepe Le Pew one that I think are pretty cool.
Grab them.
Oh, they're downstairs.
I can pad.
I don't think I can.
Oh God, how am I going to pad? I was like, I can pad. I was like, wait a minute, what would I do?
Someone says, I like the Treehouse of Horror in which the dolphins turn out to be evil, which I think is one of the worst ones. So this will be a fun conversation. But I've said too much already. So we'll end it there. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for joining us on our digital campfire. If people enjoyed this, maybe this could be an annual thing. Maybe we do this every Halloween.
And maybe we'll plan better next time.
Yeah, maybe. But thank you for joining, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody. Bye.